there are no processes in place to deal with employee exposure.
Tonight on Valley News Live at 10, some nurses in Minnesota say the state is woefully unprepared to deal with COVID-19. Why they say they're worried and what they're demanding from state leaders is still to come. Plus, what do you do if you're left unemployed or out of work due to coronavirus? We'll answer those questions just ahead. But first, there's a weather system making its way into our viewing area. Here's a look at our Skycam out of Minot. First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson says some of us could see a few inches of snow and others very slippery roads. Let's send it over to Hutch to see what we can expect. Hutch?
Yeah, as we mentioned, things would get started around that 10 o'clock hour for us here in the valley, and that's exactly what's taken place. Now, we do have a few flakes flying through our shot here at the studios. There's that 25th Street exit and the bridge that goes over I-94 out there, and some snow beginning to fall. And these are big flakes right now here in the FM area. Let's take a look at that radar. It's showing blue all the way from I-94 and points north. Down to the south, we're just seeing hit and miss activity, but it's not inconsequential, I should say. We do have some darker blues here near Cooperstown, Findlay, and in towards Mayville, and also not far from you in the Northwood area, as we're likely seeing some pretty rapid accumulations in these heavier bands of snow. One goes right through Maddock and Harvey in Wells County as well. But we are seeing a blending of precipitation types. Hawley and points south and south central North Dakota also seeing some of that. We got to point out that the National Weather Service, with reduced visibilities caused by freezing fog, ice is accumulating on the road. That's going to get covered by snow, and we have winter weather advisories for south central North Dakota for just that. It's icy out there already, as our cameras around the region are showing. We'll have your hour-by-hour details in the forecast, including how much snow, Andrea, here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thank you, Hutch. Police in West Fargo are asking for the community's help in finding 37-year-old Travis Zeck. Officials say Zeck has not had contact with his family since 9 a.m. yesterday. Zeck was last seen driving a black 2015 Chevy Tahoe with North Dakota license plate 197CZN. If anyone has seen this vehicle, please contact your local law enforcement. Thousands of Americans have been tested for COVID-19, but many more want to be. According to the COVID Tracking Project, nearly 60,000 Americans have been tested for coronavirus so far.
Don't assume your community won't be affected. Prepare as if it will be. Don't assume you won't be infected. Prepare as if you will be.
That message is being heard all over the country, including right here in North Dakota. Today, the first cases of community spread of the novel coronavirus have been confirmed in the state. That now brings North Dakota's total to 7. State health officials and local lawmakers are still urging the importance of social distancing to slow the spread of COVID-19.
We want to get to that state of calm, and we want to have and away from either denial and cynicism or just pure panic. We want to get people to say, hey, we can be responsible.
We have also learned today one of the confirmed COVID-19 cases in Minot was discovered on the Minot Air Force Base. And among the many closures and cancellations to prevent the spread of COVID-19 is West Acres Mall. That announcement coming today that the mall doors are closing until March 31st. Public schools in Valley City have also decided to cancel classes for the week of March 23rd to the 27th due to the spread of COVID-19. So far, North Dakota has tested a total of 362 people. And across the river in Minnesota, health officials are reporting 77 confirmed cases across the state. Roughly 2,700 patients have been tested. Some nurses say Minnesota is woefully unprepared to deal with COVID-19. Representatives from hospitals across the state gathered today to share their experiences, express their worry, and demand a better plan. Reporter Jennifer Mayerly shares their concerns.
Every day, these nurses say they go to work exposing themselves to risk.
The tension in the hospitals and the fear is heavy.
They're on the front lines of this pandemic, says the Minnesota Hospital Association president.
Now we have a new threat, and it's the nurses and the healthcare workers that are marching into battle.
These representatives say they'll continue to answer the call well unprotected. A survey of 1,000 members showed more than 50% believe their facility is somewhat unprepared or unprepared to respond to COVID-19. They say they need better patient isolation areas, more education, increased communication, and proper personal protection equipment. They demonstrated the N95 mask that's in short supply. Instead, many say they're forced to wear a less protective surgical mask.
In the event that a patient were to be positive for COVID-19, we're not protected.
As of Wednesday afternoon, 13 healthcare workers tested positive for the virus in Minnesota, but the health department reports the cases are travel-related. These nurses believe it will get worse.
There are no processes in place to deal with employee exposure.
They're making bold suggestions.
We are not addressing this fast enough. We need to be opening up major public facilities like the Xcel Energy Center and the U.S. Bank Stadium to become ancillary hospitals.
And want a seat at the table.
We need answers on what to do and how to deal with these patients. And number two, we need to pull together as a community.
Jennifer Mayerly, WCCO 4 News.
They are asking for a meeting with the Minnesota Hospital Association in the next 5 days. The Minnesota Department of Health said it's working with the healthcare system to ensure those on the front lines have what they need to protect themselves. There are also concerns tonight about whether or not people can get tested for coronavirus in the Valley. A disease infectious specialist with Sanford Health says the criteria for screening continues to change. To get tested, you'll have to go through a screening process over the phone with a nurse.
We have enough resources, but we don't have unlimited resources. So even though we would like to test like each and every person for coronavirus, but we cannot do that right now. Otherwise, we will just exhaust our resources.
Sanford is doing drive-up testing at their South University location. They say the tests are only for patients referred by doctors. A Fargo man says he was carjacked at knife point in front of his home, and now the man who did it allegedly is facing multiple charges. John Laffner says he was walking into his house in the 700 block of 6th Avenue North when the incident happened yesterday around 4. Laffner says 911, he called them, and police later arrested 30-year-old John Poitra for the theft. After allegedly robbing Laffner of his vehicle, police say Poitra crashed into several cars before leading officers on a chase. He was eventually stopped along Interstate 94 in Clay County.
It's definitely scary. It's not something I would think that would happen to me in broad daylight on my own house. So I would definitely say I was a little scared for my life at the point, but I didn't really have time to think about it. I just gave him what he wanted and let him go.
Poitra is still in jail on several charges that he's facing both in Cass and Clay counties. The Fargo Marathon has postponed their events this year due to concerns with coronavirus. Race organizers announced today the event originally scheduled for May has been pushed back to August 24th. According to a post on social media, racers who have already registered for the event have two options: either race in August or take part in a virtual race. The second option means people will still receive their shirt, bib, and medal by mail if racers fill out a form. Valley News Live has been contacted by several racers who are looking for a refund, and according to the Facebook post, the organizers are not offering refunds. Fargo's finest. We're looking to win big tonight on the A&E show, America's Top Dog. K9 Falco and his handler, Officer David Cochran, were in the Top Dog Championship after winning their first round in January. Teams are tested on what's considered to be one of the toughest canine obstacle courses ever assembled. Unfortunately, the win went to Team Kai, but we want to extend our congrats to Falco and Officer David.